Hello, welcome to the Evan Show. I'm your host, Evan. Today, Rob and I will be talking about the MLB trade deadline. Alright, so, possibly one of the biggest deals in MLB history happened.
Juan Soto
And
and
Josh
Josh
Bell.
Bell going to the Padres.
I personally thought that Soto was going to the Dodgers. The Dodgers have taken a lot from Washington in the past year. They took Scherzer, who's now signed with the Mets, and Trey Turner, who's still a Dodger currently.
Yeah, I think between the trades that they made last year and the last few years, the Dodgers just didn't have enough left in the minor leagues to give up for what San Diego or what Washington wanted. But I think Washington's set up to be pretty good here in a few years as all these kids that they've traded for when they unloaded Scherzer and Turner and now Bell and Soto. I mean, if any number of those prospects play out and end up being good, Washington could have a really good team.
Yeah, I mean, right now, as we are right now, as we hear, teams trading for prospects, we're like, this team's gonna suck in the next few years. And then, really, they might have the next home run winner in the home run derby, the next Pete Alonso home run derby kind of guy. They might have that guy who's been playing like Aaron Judge.
I think the impressive part of the deal they made for Soto is that they got a lot of young talent, but some of those players are 20, 21 years old and they're already playing in the major leagues. And not to say that they're tearing it up yet, but at least they've got experience and they've been to the show already, right? And some of the younger people that they've traded for, they're really playing well in the minor league levels. So, it couldn't be long. They could have a nice young team, and it's going to come down to whether or not they can develop their pitching.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Pitching's been a struggle for multiple teams. Washington's just had nothing since they lost Scherzer. Boston's pitching has been very unstable, even though having two star pitchers who haven't missed a lot of time, and then Chris Sale, who, I don't know. I had him on my fantasy team. I thought he was going to return and do stuff that he did last season.
He did for one game. He's been snake bitten, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But who knows? He'll be back in September, it sounds like, and see if he can do anything for the stretch run, if there is a stretch run for the Sox.
Yeah, I mean, the best record they can have, though it's quite impossible, is 109 to 53. They're currently on the 500 and have been sitting around there for, I don't know, a while. But
I wonder what odds you could get at the gambling sites if you bet the Red Sox were going to win every single game left in the season.
0% odds.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a long shot. I think they might finish at around 91 wins. That would be a pretty hot stretch here to close it out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The schedule looks somewhat favorable, and if everybody comes back and pitches well, Sale and Rich Hill, rough
Walker.
start. Waka, yeah. Hill had a rough start in his return. But
Yeah.
he's good for, 5 innings of throwing slop. You just never know. But
Yeah, Waka's actually one of the better pitchers on the Red Sox. He's had a pretty quiet year, but ever since, before he got injured, he was actually probably their best pitcher. Even though being their fourth or fifth starter, he's actually one of their best pitchers.
he was pitching very well.
I'm not sure how he'll do when he comes back. I'm hoping he does well.
Well, if Evaldi keeps pitching the way he did last start, and again, Hill can come in and give you 5 innings, 6 innings in a start.
Maybe even 7.
You don't, again, if you kind of match Whitlock's appearances around Hill's starts, you get 5 or 6 from Hill, you get 2 innings from Whitlock, and then you're basically in the 8th inning, and you can bring Houck in for a 2-inning save, or maybe you've got a good enough lead at that point that you can just bring the garbage relievers in and close out the game.
Yeah. Like there's some relievers that are decent, but they don't even last a whole inning. Like Matt Strom, he's a pretty decent guy. He can strike out one, but they only put him like in 2/3 of an inning. I think he could probably go a whole inning, but they always take him out.
And I think that's the biggest story of the whole deadline is what the Red Sox did. Like, what are you doing? Are you trying to improve the team? Are you trying to make the team worse? Why
Yeah,
do you
like
trade your star catcher and not replace him with a equal or somewhat equal catcher? You
yeah, like
know?
before the Vasquez deal, they were just sitting there. Like August 1st rolls around, all they've done is Vasquez. Then oh no, and they did sign Tommy Pham and Reese McGuire, but that that was quiet. I
Hmm.
gotta say.
No pitching. Yeah, I mean, couldn't improve the bullpen at all.
I
Couldn't
mean,
get a starter to kind of bridge the gap until Sale or Waka or any of these other people. Like I don't know if Paxton's gonna play this year or not, but I know they
I
signed him to a 2-year, $20 million deal this winter to rehab from Tommy John. But
oh he had Tommy John.
yeah,
Hmm.
so I don't know. It's kind of disappointing from a Red Sox fan perspective what they did at the deadline, but
I'm kind of excited in a way. Like I'm not disappointed, but I'm not really excited because at least they did sign Eric Hosmer, who at the start of the season seemed to be an all-star at first
yeah,
base. Then kind of slowed down.
if they had made any other big move to pair up with the Hosmer deal, then I'd be extremely pleased with the trade deadline because you got Hosmer for free. Basically, San Diego's paying his entire salary. You've got a person at first base who, while beyond his prime, he's still going to be a lot better than anything we've had at first base all season. And he can be there at no cost for the next 3 years. So now maybe you put some of that money towards re-signing Bogarts or re-signing Devers.
Or
Um,
Martinez.
maybe. I mean, I think there are a lot of options out there to replace JD,
They should have kept Schwarber over JD in
but
my
still, if you
opinion.
can keep Bogarts and Devers, you got Story and Hosmer on the right side. Got a heck of an infield,
Mhm.
but we'll see. Got to get through this season first and see if they can't make any
Yeah.
noise or if they're just gonna fold up and limp into the finish. We'll see.
Yeah. Wasn't this video supposed to be about the trade deadline?
Yeah, I thought we were talking about trades.
Yeah. So let's get to probably the second biggest deal. It once again included the Padres. Josh Hader.
Oh yeah, Josh Hader from the Brewers to the Padres.
I'm really, really, really surprised that that happened because Josh Hader is definitely the best closer in the game. Probably best relief pitcher overall in the game right now. And he just left straight up. Like all that San Diego gave was pitchers.
I
Nope.
know they gave up their closer,
Yeah, he was pretty good
and
though.
then I feel like there were a couple of prospects
Yeah,
that
there
were
was like
included.
2 to 4 prospects and their closer, who's like the second best in the game or something.
San Diego's going to be in a tough spot because now they've got Machado and Tatis signed to 300 million plus multi-year contracts. If they're going to keep Soto, he's going to demand what was the Nationals offered him?
I don't know.
450 million over 13 years, I think it was, and he turned it down, and that's why they decided to trade him. Um, Hader, one of the best relievers in the game. I think
Mhm.
I think the Brewers sold at the right time because I think he's starting to show some signs of regression. But they're going to have a lot of people that they have to pay if they want to keep everybody, and it's not like they're going to have anybody in the farm system that they can bring up to
Mm.
to cover any of these spots if they
Yeah.
don't re-sign. So
I mean, San Diego's had one of the best farm systems, but with this Soto Bell, this Hater, their farm system went from a straight line up just to, it's like it's all over the place. Who's
mhm.
their next All-Star? Fernando Tatis Jr. a home run, 42 for a full season. Who's going to be that guy? Who's going to be the new
Probably one of
star
those
third
guys on the
base?
Nationals now.
Yeah, or on Milwaukee,
Yeah,
maybe. And one of those pitchers is going to become the next Garrett Cole or Jacob deGrom.
could be. You never know. That's the whole thing about the trade deadline. You're making deals, trying to improve your team, and whether for the short term and to help you win the World Series this year, or for the long term to make your team better in the future. So
Yeah. The Angels actually gave quite a few people to the Phillies, I believe.
the Noah
Syndergaard.
Syndergaard trade
Yeah, and
and
I think
Marsh.
Marsh went in there too, and I think I'm not sure, but I believe Raisel Iglesias was given to the Phillies as well. I know he left the Angels, and I think it was the Phillies.
Yeah, I don't recall where he went.
Yeah, but he's another one of the best relievers in the game.
Yep, at least they didn't get rid of Otani, so they still got a fighting shot if Trout gets healthy. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
Trout's back injury. It's interesting. I don't. It's really rare. But some things that have really surprised me is that Wilson Contreras is still sitting there with the Cubs, and some people expected Ian Happ to be traded as well.
JD Martinez is still with the Red
Yeah,
Sox.
that's exciting.
Nate Eovaldi is still with the Red
hmm
Sox.
I didn't expect him to be traded, to be honest.
I After his start the night before the deadline, I kind of felt like it improved his value and the Sox could have gotten something decent for him. But again, I think they didn't know whether they wanted to buy or sell. You know.
Yeah, it's
So
like they were like, maybe.
I almost
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
let's just.
I almost feel like they traded Christian Vasquez and the team got so upset that they decided to change course and was like, okay, maybe we're not going to sell because we don't want to have a revolt at our hands. And the players get all upset because we're getting rid of their favorite teammates.
Yeah, the Vasquez trade, it hit me hard, and then like I was pretty sad about that, and then I'm just like, oh, they signed that new catcher. At least he's a fielder, and then you told me he didn't hit well, even though his career average is like a 250 or so.
Yeah, I think he's hitting like 220 this year, but he
Yeah.
throws out a lot of runners trying to steal. So
Yeah, so basically more of a defensive catcher, but definitely a bit of a better.
between the added
I don't
defense
know.
at catcher, the added defense at first base with Hosmer, Pham is probably an upgrade defensively in the outfield. So
Yeah.
the worst part about the Red Sox this year probably got addressed, but just wasn't splashy or, probably not the names that we were kind of hoping for.
I mean, I didn't expect Eric Hosmer to be going anywhere, nor did I expect Tommy Pham, to be honest. The Reds got rid of every single bit of talent that they have, to be honest. This within the past year, they got rid of Castillo and Male at the trade deadline. They got rid of they still have Votto at least, but they got rid of Winker, Suarez, Pham, Drury.
Yeah, kind of building upon what they started in the
hmm
preseason, right?
I don't I don't know why that the Reds decided to get rid of all of their talent except for Votto, even though they did quite well last year. They were near 500. It was just that last season stretch where the Cardinals heated up that made them not be a playoff team. They could have been a playoff team, but the Cardinals basically just turned them down. So I don't get why if you almost made it to the playoffs, you just say, I'm just gonna quickly leave this room, decide to trade everyone I own, and then come back and have the worst season of my franchise history.
I don't know. Financials are a big part of it. It's a business, so you know what this trade deadline reminded me of for the Red Sox
What?
is 2004. There was a guy on the Red Sox named Nomar Garciaparra,
I've heard of
shortstop.
him, I think.
He was one of the most popular Red Sox in a long time, and they traded him unexpectedly and got back another shortstop who was better defensively, but nowhere near as good offensively as Nomar. And they got a defensive first baseman, and everybody, all the fans were like, "Why would you trade Nomar? You can't get rid of Nomar." And lo and behold, they gelled a little bit as a team defensively and started winning games. And you know what happened in 2004?
Finally, they won a World Series.
Yeah. So, sometimes as fans we look at it and we say, this is crazy, what are they doing? But you never know what might happen when you change things up a little bit and shake it up and put a different team out there. So,
I mean, knowing that the Red Sox beat the Astros in their series 4-2, that makes me surprised that they had a winning record over a top four team. Definitely.
they're playing great against every division except for the American League East.
Yeah.
If they didn't have to play the American League East, they'd be one of the top seeds in the playoffs.
In fact, they would be.
Right. Well, anyhow, it's been a good show.
You
want to talk about our sponsors before we leave?
Oh yeah, Saikai Gaming TTM. He's an excellent gamer who plays Splitgate, Fortnite, and a few other games. And I just think you should leave a like and subscribe on his channel. And definitely check him out. Like, do everything you can to popularize him. I think that the world will love to see him.
And we also have Whiting Design Studio on Etsy. Really cool shop where you can buy custom-made wreaths that are absolutely beautiful. And check it out. I think you'll find something you like. But thanks for watching. Appreciate your views and your thumbs ups and your subscribes.
Yep. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe on this video. And comment down below who your favorite Patriots player is. And,
current or ever?
Well, probably current, just because I personally, really all I know for ever is like they're legends. So, just current favorite Patriots.
Happy belated 45th Tom Brady.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Evan Show.